Hi all. So I think somebody attended to the dark web talk just recently, and you saw how people earn money on the underground, the scale of the money volume there. And this talk is about how hackers spend their vacations. So it's really a rare situation when hackers will use real travel agencies and real tour operators to buy tickets and flights. So we will see what they do. So this is usually a black area. Sometimes it's a gray area. It's kind of business process compromise or like logical vulnerabilities abuse. So today we will talk like what kind of services exist on the underground market, how everything is done, so how underground travel agencies and services operate, in what is on the background, and how to deal with it. So how to understand what if you're buying something, can be a victim of the cybercrime while you attempted to buy travel like a tour or tickets. So the scale of the fraud, it's about 1 or 2% of the volume. But if you went to the real numbers, it's about 10 billion US per year. And this scale is calculated the way how like travel operators losing their money, and sometimes hackers act the way they put in all the risks on the card holders or somewhere, but not the travel agencies, and this fraud doesn't count. So, and of course, on this market, there are specific slangs, so we will learn several Russian words and their translation, because I think it doesn't make sense in English if you look into Google Translate and see this word or wherever, or this word. So, but it's really important thing to understand what is going on. So what is possible to find on the underground market? It's actually almost everything the same as on normal tour operators or agencies, but with some extra. Like if you attended previous talk, you can see it's possible to buy fake passport or real passport or like citizenship. We saw cases when paying $900 US, buyer can win US green card lottery without chance to lose, with several positive reviews for this. And of course, it's alternative means of payment. So we will show several screenshots from the underground. Some of them are Google translated because underground market is not only English speaking, but Russian speaking, Chinese speaking. So don't expect proper English everywhere. But let's look on the process how to purchase tickets, like airline tickets on the underground. So the process usually use well-known sites like skyscanner.net, and seller ask buyer to provide a link to a particular flight, make a prepayment or put money to the escrow or guarantor, and provide the same services, sometimes with 80% discount, sometimes discount is slightly less, but with cheaper money. Another thing you can see here, it's a minimal deal price. And the reason behind this we will discuss a bit later. So the same is for the hotels. So usually booking done several days before the trip. Usually it's just up to 2 weeks because this kind of transactions detected by like banks, and a booking can be cancelled. And of course, you can see a minimal deal here as well. Another interesting thing, if you look into advertisement on the underground markets, not every tour agent provide tickets and hotels for ex-USSR and Russia. And often the price for tickets inside Russia is like 20 or like 10% higher than for the other world, because there are some limitations like how to deal with these tickets, how to book them. Of course, hospitality industry is widely abused, and it's exploited in both directions. So it is possible to buy accounts for Airbnb or other booking sites, but you can find, for example, here the offer for the apartment owners. So underground actors will virtually book rooms from these guys, and that's the way we will launder a huge amount of money. So another important thing for the underground is actor reputation. So when actors start to provide services, he usually do several free trips just to get a positive review and make like promotion for his business. So reputation is the thing that it's really hard to get and easy to lose on the underground. So here you can see advertisement of travel agent on the left and underground travel agency booking form on the right. So the difference is that underground travel agency usually have dedicated site. So it looks like a normal, and normal visitors could be tricked, not only the underground actor can attempt to try to use this. So you can see link to Skyscanner, and the major contact is like a Telegram number. Sometimes we use the email address, but anything else except like a contact points looks like a normal travel agency. So the role of Telegram is very high on the underground now because many actors switched from underground forums to Telegram channels. And here you can see a special Telegram bot where potential buyer can type a keyword and receive a list of operators who provide services related to the keyword. So you can see Avio, you can see food and tickets like travel guides, Uber, or wherever. So if you type something like a travel, you will get a list of potential sellers. Another role of Telegram is a support. Since not all tickets and hotel bookings are reliable, sometimes sellers are forced to rebook tickets or hotels. So there is a very important thing called live support, and here is one of the sellers who show what he provides live support 24/7. So we look at like on the services, and let's look on some background. So how these actors act. So we will show several levels depending on maturity. So of course, script Kiddies exists, and script Kiddies thinks it's low-hanging fruit. So you just take in a card, or on the underground, we call it material sometimes. Use a direct booking on the airline site or on the hotel, and when we pay. So the process of this purchasing called carding, or in Russian it's karsh. So if you see something like on Google Translate and then karsh, it's related to credit card fraud. And we see review and abuse here. When this kind of seller successfully bought tickets 3 times, but 3 times it has been canceled in several minutes after. So now he trying a 4th attempt to buy this. This kind of approach is not reliable, and really blame it immediately on the underground forums. So the tickets are cheap, but it is possible to buy tickets just several days before the trip. So you know the price, the price of the flight raises right before the trip. So generally, it's not so interesting price as everybody expected. no return flight is possible. So people travel, stay in the hotel, and just 2 or 3 days before departure, they contact seller again and trying to buy return tickets. Another thing is, since it's no returns, so if traveler consider to visit a country which requires a visa, to apply for a tourist visa, you need a return ticket. So it's really, there is a serious limitation for this. And of course, this kind of transactions trigger fraud alerts. So bank trying to charge credit card as fast as they can. And this kind of activity is usually discovered very fast. So what actors thinking about is how to expand the payment period, so the time between booking and real banking transaction. And of course, we know this way. So everybody know what is like verified by Visa or MasterCard secure code. So it's on slang it's called just VBV. Is the same as here. This kind of thing shift responsibility from the bank to the card holder, because this transaction considered to be secure. And as long as it's secure, the transaction, the real money flow goes to the bank just month after the booking, not immediately. So it gave enough time for the traveler to travel back and when transaction is discovered. So in our approach, like no direct use of credit card. Instead of this, cards use it mostly in European travel agencies. So where like higher prices, more like higher reliability, but these kind of credit cards are not cheap. So it's a credit card with like secure information, with like a PIN or password, which we use it in Europe and US. So and what's the reason for minimal price for the services? So normally this kind of services available if a buyer buys something at least for $100 or like $500. So, but the most interesting topic is a fraud not related to carding. So on slang it's called like не cash, so not carding. And offers often highlight, like for example here, hotel book it with carding. It's just have another price. So it's like 30% from the price for carding fraud and 50% for non-carding fraud. But this kind of approach is more reliable. And you can see a notice from the underground actor that if we book a hotel, the hotel sees like a paid in cash in European travel agency. So there is no suspicious things since it was paid in cash. So of course, like loyalty and mileage programs are widely abused. So this actor focused on the Russian travel, and he offers booking in advance, like up to 45 days in advance, and he sells tickets for Russian railways and flights inside Russia. So this part is like a legit site, and you can see here, like you can transfer your Avios miles. So what's the thing is widely abused, and if you attended previous talk, you can see sales of account with huge amount of monies. So, and the next step for the actors is like we buy an account, we create an email which is similar to the name of the owner, we create a twins profile as for the owner, and we just translate transit miles to another account which we totally control. And this is just a one email to the account owner. So and after that we can do whatever we want. So, and what's the way usually flights to the dangerous destinations like flights inside Russia done? So it doesn't done with carding. It's done with miles or loyalty program abuse. Of course, we saw many talks related to social engineering and phishing, and it does work for travel agencies. So here we can see several examples how hackers hack into like booking systems and travel agencies and steal some money. So this happened in Russia, and this happened in Russia again. So this case is like 18 accounts of travel agencies has been abused in very interesting ways. So hackers bought railroad tickets on the travel agencies, and when we came to the ticket office of railroad or road company and said like, we don't need this ticket, we would like to return. So what's the way we made like around like $50,000. Of course, fake travel agencies exist. Sometimes they pretend to send like hot tours. Sometimes the aim is to collect credit card data. And sometimes it's like to make a cover story in the case of hacker who travel like will be catched up. So here is an example of combination of stolen credit card and fake travel agency recently in China. And here is an example of abuse of Uber promotion codes. So you pay like 200 rubles, which is roughly $3, and you get a wash promotion code for $12. And usually done at scale. So, for example, Uber have promotion like for every new account, we will give you this kind of promotional code. And people do virtual machines with Android and create like hundreds of thousands of this kind of codes. So we do it at scale, and for any new customer, we just resell promotion code from particular account. Of course, here we can see a lot of people from big companies, and there is a thing like corporate rates for the hotels. And this thing, of course, abuse it. So you can see like how to find it even in Google, like a promotion codes. But since this fraud was done in scale, especially in China, so hotels decided to ask IDs of the company employees. And here you can see a warning for the hotel guest. And here you can see how Chinese market adopted to this. So it is possible to buy fake employee IDs. In this case, it's used just to check in the hotel. But sometimes I think it can be used like as a part of targeted attacks to the companies. So does anybody heard the story about 146% during Russian elections in 2012? So like it's like very advanced level. So there was a live TV broadcast during the elections, and the screen on the related to the one of the regions had shown like this party got this percent, this party got this, and summary it was 146%. Of the votes, and this became a meme in Russia. So like it's something very serious. So in this case, a seller registered a company in Russia, and he made a contract with airlines and travel agencies to sell tours in credit or as a loan. And he sell these tours on the underground, not informing travelers, but it will be a loan or credit tour. So he got like many very good reviews, so no problems during the travel. But as long as people get back to home, like next month we got an extra bill for the same travel. For taxi drivers, we found a special version of taxi application which use fake GPS or our features, like it allows to call a customer before taxi arrives, and so on. And in our case, it was in the gray area. So it was abuse of airline ticket sale. So some airlines sales ticket like for a very cheap price, like $10. And the scheme consider it to change personal information. So if actor can buy a ticket for $10 and change the traveler name cost like 50. So he resell the ticket for $300 because tickets related to like Christmas time or something. And he pays just $60, 10 for ticket and 50 for just changing personal information. But there is no violation of company rules in this case. So if we look into advanced level, you can see a review with success rate of the travel. So it's like 80% rate for the flight and 100% rate for the hotel. We can learn a new term called slot. So slot is something get wrong. So person decided to fly but was unable to do this because fraud was detected before person jumped into the plane, for example. Sometimes we can see offers with just 20% discount, like business class only, or sellers just sell particular thing like tickets in Germany and so on. So this is a thing related to like advanced level of the sales. So let's look into regional specifics. So here you can see advertisement like any hotel up to 4,000 US for roughly $350. But there is one note except Emirates, Turkey, Dominican, and ex-USSR. So there are several reasons with this, and we will see it a bit later. But some directions was victims of the fraud too many times. So now it's really hard to commit fraud in particular directions for flight and hotels. So where is the specifics related to like a national mindset? So for example, Chinese actors prefer to buy fancy cars, not buy, but rent fancy cars like Porsche, Mercedes S-Class, or BMW. And like Russian-speaking actors prefers comfort, so they renting a taxi, VIP taxis with drivers, and so on. So another thing, like you can see advertisement with very, very targeted auditory. So if a person is youngster without driving license, but he have a birthday and he want to drive, so what is the option? So the option was buy account from car sharing service. And what are the consequences? So at least in Russia, like in recent years, we can see like 2 persons has been arrested while driving car sharing cars without driving license, and we were underage. So if we look into regional specific services, as it was at the end of the previous talk, you can see account with miles, you can see like Pizza Hut, and all these atomic services is mostly for Western countries, because Eastern countries focus it on the comfortable travel. So it's all in one packages, like in real travel agencies. So a buyer just pays money and getting everything he needs. But for Western countries, the service is often related just to like account with miles, but how to deal with it, like points somewhere, like on Pizza Hut, or on the car sharing, or wherever. So there is a big difference for the markets depending on the geographical location. So along with hotels, it is possible to, you know, like 5-star hotels usually ask for a deposit. So sometimes it's like $400, sometimes it's $800. It depends on the country and on the hotel. And on the underground, it is possible to buy deposits for 40% of the price. And another interesting advertisement related to the clubs. So this guy give deposits for the clubs, and he claims that he made successful deposit with $5,600 in club in United States. So, of course, it's a dangerous thing to travel with this kind of services, and consequences depends on the time when the fraud has been detected. So before the travel, usually tickets or hotel is cancelled. And in this case, it's a care of underground seller. So usually, seller provide alternative route, alternative ticket or hotel. There are some issues if fraud detected at check-in or after check-in. So according to the reviews, travelers are often asked to pay it in cash or provide a credit card which has been used for booking. But there is interesting service which creates a backstory, like a cover story with fake travel agency. So it is possible to buy like a bunch of papers which will show that buyer bought a tour on the real travel agency. So seller create a temporary site for a month. And even if hotel will double check the site, it will look like a real travel agency while person who bought a service travel. And here you can see like a package. So when you're ordering from 4,500 US, you get this kind of cover me service for free. So, and you can estimate the scale of the fraud and the prices on the underground. But let's see what underground travelers doing during the vacation. So you can see like a boarding passes for 2 people with Russian passport, and I say like thank you and this seller. So what's the normal review? So here inside the plane, like Aeroflot flight with food. And here is a hotel, I think somewhere in Russia, because you can see like Matryoshka. Of course, some people can afford luxury vacations. So you can see like crocodile for the lunch. This is like a luxury car rental and VIP tour services in Jamaica, which has been provided by underground actors. And this was a really strange, I'm not sure if it was a native English speaker, but a person pretended to be travel agent, decided to grab some low-hanging fruits and earn some money. So, of course, there are some unlucky travelers, like the easiest case, like a person said that he was asked to provide a credit card, which has been used to buy tickets. So, but it's like nothing strange. Another interesting case when one underground actor who provides services decided to travel using another underground travel agency, and as long as he paid money, he got requests to his agency. So it was not a real seller. It was a reseller who pushed order to several other underground travel agencies with personal information of the traveler, and this traveler got it back. So, and this traveler was really unhappy with this kind of service. There is a serious rule. I think you are aware about this, if you live in Russian-speaking country, don't work against Russia and Russian-speaking countries. So here is the case when person bought plane tickets, and during the check-in, like strange person sit near airline staff and immediately stand up and provide like a law enforcement badge to the traveler, and police catch this guy, and what happened? Actually, it's a really interesting story. So policeman seated in the police department, and one of his friends received a call from his mother, like somebody withdraw like 2 times like 12,000 rubles from my card, and according to the Russian law, bank should inform you immediately about any transaction. So. And we was able to trace this transaction to the particular booking reference, and police just came to the airport and catch the guy because seller used Russian credit card and Russian tour agent to buy tickets inside Russia, and that's why Russian tickets cost a bit more, and nobody suggests to use stolen credit card to book tickets inside Russia. Of course, it's high competitive service. So as long as there is like a travel agency, you can see at twins like who pretend to be a travel agency, and on the underground post, people say like, here, only this account is mine, and I have no avatar on it. So be aware, and the same is like with many actors. So I think like there is no free cheese. So as long as you consider to travel, you should understand the real prices, the average prices, and the offers from the particular agency. You should take care about your account, your password, and be aware of phishing. And of course, it's like a cat and mouse game for the industry and hackers, especially for carding. So when hackers using stolen credit card, we're trying to be so low profile, so it's impossible to distinguish a real card holder and a hacker, because the process which is done on the underground. So if we want to buy something with stolen credit card, first of all, we listen cards when we check in the proxies in this city and in this district of the city with the same zip code. If we have a proxy, we buy a credit card, and transaction looks exactly as from the card owner. So, and the same approach use it for like goods fraud. So when people buying like MacBooks or like fancy things like Gucci, Versace, using stolen credit cards. So we even use the same billing and shipping address. And as long as item is shipped, we call to the company like USPS and say, you know, I'm not at home today. Can you reroute this package to another destination? So, and there are like several pretty good reports related to the travel fraud, which you can find here. And here is the summary. So did you learn several words? Okay, so if you have questions,